with Soraya, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be with him today here because as little I spoke to him, he has so much knowledge, so much experience, and so much wisdom that I would like him to share with us today. Thank you, Soraya, for accepting my invitation and being willing to come and share some information with us today. Can you share?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Monica, for the invitation. I really appreciate this kind gesture, and I love connecting with like-minded people and same-spirited people who believe in a certain path and a certain purpose. So I know you are very much into sharing knowledge with people about health and wellness. So I'm the same. So why not connect and share what we know and what we're trying to learn?
It's amazing because when you get on this path, you find like people are more open-minded and they are willing to connect. Because I did experience the other part of it where I don't know, I was close and the people that I was meeting were close as well. But the moment I open up, I got to actually meet people who are actually willing to sit with you and chat with you. They're like actually open to share those wisdom points with you.
I completely agree to that. I think it lots to do with our own vibration. As you may be aware of, we are all on a certain vibration. Our cells are on a certain vibration. There's a saying in Western world, oh, I got good vibes when I meet somebody. I think that's just short for vibrations, and we are made up of vibrations and frequencies. And then we tune that vibration into a different direction. We start meeting people with a certain mindset. So it happened to me over the past 1 year. And I was like, how come I'm only meeting people with certain mindset where they're open, they have a growth mindset? And I realized because I changed my own mindset, I'm attracting the similar kind of people towards myself. So funny you said that.
I would like you to share something of that idea as well, because I mean we're gonna get to the main topic of the conversation, which I've invited you, but I would like us to touch all the points because I believe all of them are important. And I'm very happy that you actually mentioned about the word vibration, because it is true. Like we vibrate a certain frequency and we invite people, things, opportunities, and all that based on the vibration that we function from. As well, you mentioned the mindset, which is very, very important. So what would you recommend, let's say people that they see this for the first time and they don't know much about what vibration is, and why would you consider to change and shift your mindset, and how important it is to actually work on yourself and do all the things that would actually make you vibrate higher or shift your mindset, and what is the benefit of that?
So there are quite a few questions. You put that in one, so I'll start so that I don't forget.
Running like that, I couldn't. I wanted to slow myself down, but I couldn't.
I'll try to break it down, and if I do miss something, do remind me that I missed a point. I'll start from the last point that you started with. It's why it's important to change ourselves. Like I always say to people that in order to make any change in your life, that change begins from yourself. From a very young age, especially from the culture that I'm coming from in India, we are programmed in a certain way from our families, from our relatives, from our surrounding, basically, and especially growing in a working class family, there was a certain things and certain norms. And in order to grow, we have to understand that that's a programming and accept that yes, it is a programming, but that is not there for you for the life. You can actually unlearn those things. Because there's a famous quote that I like. I love quotes, but I don't remember the name of the people who said those quotes. So this quote says, illiterate of a 21st century is not someone who can't read or write. It's someone who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. So that is extremely important, to unlearn those programming that has been given to you for a certain reason. But when you're trying to grow and change yourself, you've got to have a new program, a new installation within yourself, just like software. The brain is software, and you've got to update that software every now and then. So for me,
your result, you have to change the programming.
Yes, you cannot achieve the different result by doing the same thing over and over again, Einstein said. So yes, I realized a few years back that, okay, if I'm trying to do something different, the first person I need to change is myself and not the environment that I'm in. Yes, environment is important. Yes, people around you are important, but first person begins for me. I need to be responsible for my choices, and then my choices leads to my actions. And then those actions define how my results are going to be. And one of the things that I did is started surrounding myself with right people with right mindset. So it could be not just in your physical life, but also in your virtual life. The people you listen to through podcasts, you watch on YouTube, the people you read in the books. So of course, I started seeing that in my partner, who's very much into this learning phase for the last 7 years, and how she prioritized education over entertainment. So I started doing the same about a year and a half ago. So I've cut down my entertainment from a certain number to less than 2 hours a week and increased my education to a bigger number. And similarly, I've changed my circle because I read somewhere many years back, you are a combination of people you spend your most time with. So it's a five, so in India, growing up, we always used to say, oh, your company matters, but nobody were able to explain us better why your company matters, why you should not hang around with certain people. But now we know, because we're changing ourselves, we're learning new things, that yes, your company matters. And those 5, 6 people that you stay most with, you become sort of a median of it, combination of their mindset. So that's why we change in school, in college, in jobs, because those 5 keeps on changing. So if we know that these are the 5 or 6 or 7 people that can help us grow, then yes, we should spend more time with them in physical world as well as in virtual world. And that also applies, as I said, in your who you listen to, who you watch, very important in social media and everywhere else. So that's where the change is important to me, because a lot of people, we are in this journey, and we are in different places in this journey. But that journey is not outward, the journey is inward. And the moment you understand that, you realize that, oh, since you were a child, you were told, go ask your parents, go ask your teachers, go ask your friends. You were looking for answers outside. But now you understand, in my 30s, I finally understand the answers are within me. The answers are not outside. It's not some guru who's going to give me all the answers. They might give me a path. They might give me some tools to navigate through that, but they won't be able to give me answers. The real person who can give me any answers is within myself. So I need to ask those hard questions. I need to dig deep within myself. So I need to start on that inward journey. And I'm very new on this inward journey, and it's amazing. It's not easy. There are a lot of things that it's very hard, because you go through some things and you uncover things that you've never worked upon. So, but it's very important that we go on that journey. So that's what the change truly means for me: changing the mindset, going the journey within, and exploring. And that exploration is never ending. It's a lifelong journey. And in that journey, you meet people like yourself and who you connect, and then just build this tribe of amazing, like-minded, same-spirited people, and share more and more things and tools, most importantly, to help each other navigate through these times towards a better future.
It is amazing how much something like that could actually change and transform our entire life. Like just the fact that you've made that choice. Okay, I'm gonna reduce my entertainment to raise and increase my my education, and how much just that changed so much into around the people that surround you and the results that you are having. Because most of the people around us, like, they put so much price on the entertainment, and they think like, oh, I have just one life, like, let me better live it. But it's important to live your life, no one says that, but important is the quality of your life. And
I would give you a quick example. A lot of people say, I watched this motivational speaker giving this example to an audience. He was asking people, so what is the cost of your Netflix? And some people were saying depends on the country that you live in. Some people were saying it's $10 a month, or $12 a month, $15 a month. And he was saying, no, it's actually $5,000 or $8,000 a month. And they were like, no, you're wrong. It's actually $10 or $15 a month. He said, so how much time you spend on Netflix every week? And they said like 20 hours a week. So it was almost 80 hours a month. And he said, so if you multiply that for the amount of money that you're currently making by the number of hours that you're spending on Netflix, you're spending around $5,000 a month on Netflix, not $15 a month, because your time has value, but the people don't value their time. And that is what you're trying to say there. The problem is people think it's my life, I can do whatever I want. It's just 2 hours of Netflix a day. But when you multiply that 2 hours by 365 days a year, you have lost, I don't know how many months just on that entertainment. So yes, entertainment is important, but again, and I'm not saying education is boring. There are so many fun ways of learning actually. And yeah, it's just making that small switch, because it's a very small change. Believe you me, I didn't switch off watching Netflix just like that. I reduced it step by step. And now I was in Romania for 8 weeks, and I've actually checked the number of hours I spent on TV, it was less than 6 hours in 8 weeks on TV. So I was very happy with that. There were times when I first moved to UK, I didn't watch TV for 6 years. And, it's growing up in India, we used to get told TV is an idiot box. I never understood the meaning of it, why it's called an idiot box. And then when I moved to this journey of learning, I read somewhere that television stands for tell a lie vision. That, I just break it down to that, tell a lie vision. And then you say television programming. So there's a certain programming happening through tell a lie vision. So I was like, okay, so I need to be very careful what I watch on it, because there's so much exposure on your phone, on your TV. I need to be in charge. I'm not saying all media is bad or all social media is bad, but you got to take control of that learning, of that education, of that entertainment as well. And I can give you so many examples.
Everything gets absorbed and it goes directly into your subconscious mind. You don't even realize. But
you don't.
I'm glad that you mentioned something very important that would lead us to next question that I have for you. I'm glad that you've made that comparison with when it comes to time and cost, and how much do you actually spend. And I would like to highlight that only an entrepreneur thinks like that. Not many people knows the difference when it comes to that. Only an entrepreneur can actually make that difference and make that statement. So tell us now your path to entrepreneurship, and your ideas about being an employee versus an entrepreneur.
Very good question. And I can go on and on about this topic for a long time, but I try to keep it brief as much as I can. So my entrepreneurship journey started about 5 years ago. I always knew in my heart of my heart, I want to do something of my own. The reason I wanted to do something of my own, because I wanted to make a difference in order to help other people, even in the smallest way possible. I wanted to make some kind of contribution to the society. And I knew that I can't do that while working in a job. Unfortunately, that's how I see it. I'm not saying all jobs are like that. I'm sure there are a lot of jobs you can make a significant difference in people's life. I just thought that in order to make us the difference that I want to create, I need something to do on my own. And of course, due to family responsibility and my own personal responsibility and the limitations that I had, I initially had to work. So from the age of 17 all the way till 30 years old, I was working in different jobs. Even until just a couple of years back, I was still working in different jobs, majority of the time in hospitality. And while working in hospitality, I learned that it is my true passion. I love meeting people, I love connecting with them, and I love serving them. I love looking after them. But I need to do it in a way that's actually rewarding for myself as well. Yes, it's great to serve, and I do get happiness in it, but it's not serving me as a whole. It's not serving my family as a whole. And of course, I need to do more and do better. So, and I think traveling played an important part in it with education. My real education actually happened in the outside world, whether it's in my job, the people I surround myself with, and in my traveling, most importantly. I had a bachelor's degree, I had a master's degree, but honestly, I'm not saying that people shouldn't go to universities and degrees, but honestly, my real learning happened in the outside world. And if they can actually do time traveling, like after school, between universities and stuff, or spend that time and money in that, you will learn much more and will get better ideas. So back in 2015, me and my partner, we went on traveled around Asia and Australia for 4 months.
Can I pause you just a bit there so we don't lose that idea? I like that you mentioned about the learning outside of the school and how important that learning is. And I think Robert Kiyosaki, he did mention that true learning actually starts after school. So I just wanted to highlight that before you go.
Very great point. Very great point. 100%. See the difference between learning and education are two different things. And a lot of people confuse it with education being learning. I have seen a lot of smart people, engineers, doctors, advocates. Yes, they are very highly educated people, not the smartest people I know. So, it's what you learn and what you are educated on are two different things. Mm-hmm. So yes, and as you said, real learning actually begins after the school. So for me, that same thing happened in my school, in my university. I learned maybe 20%, but my 80% education or learning actually happened in the outside world, and spatially 50% of it happened in the travel, because that took me out of my comfort zone. So that 4 months that we spent traveling around Asia, 1 month in China, 3 weeks in Vietnam, Cambodia, Australia, China, everywhere. So it's just like you expose yourself to new cultures, new people, new environments, and you're like, oh, things can be done like this for this person, and you start seeing perspective. You start putting things in a picture that how grateful you are that you have running hot water, for example, or it's many little things that you take for granted on a daily basis. You start being really extremely grateful for it when you go, especially in China. Like, we had money, but we just don't know what to eat because we couldn't understand anything, and nobody was able to understand in English. So we were like, okay, I don't want to end up eating something I don't want to. But so sometimes you understand the power of learning and power of perspective, most importantly. So going back to the entrepreneurial journey, that's where we kind of understood what truly want to do. So I wanted to help and serve people. In Vietnam, I met this lady. She had a very small house and a small family, and she was hosting people in her house from all parts of the world. And I had a great experience with her. She kind of encouraged me to start my own business. So this lady who was working in a 4-5-star hotel as a housekeeper can start her own little business, build her own home on a ground with the help of her family. She herself was sleeping in a living room under a net on the ground, on the floor, with her husband and 3-year-old daughter, while all 4 bedrooms in her house was given to guests. And she would make you the best breakfast. She would look after. She was super nice person, like really, truly hospitable. I said, I'm like that. I'm a very hospitable person. I love hosting people. But why can't I do something similar? Why I have to carry on? She used to work in a 5-star hotel, and I can, change. So I said, okay, let's not quit the job. Let's start the business. So we started, as I said, we used to live in a small 2-bed apartment, me and my wife, and we started hosting in 1 bedroom in the spare room, people from different parts of the world. We had straight away in our first week, we had people from India, people from Mexico, people from Australia. And within 2-3 months, I realized this is truly I want to do. I want to grow this, and I want to help more people. And because I manifested that and I kind of started creating it, within a matter of 6 months, we kind of outgrew that apartment, moved into a bigger house where I currently live, with bigger room, bigger spaces. And in 5 years, we have like a decent portfolio where we are providing home from home quality stay to people coming for work and travel in the city. So that's how the entrepreneurial journey started. But within that journey, I started finding I don't want to limit myself just to that one thing. If I find some, because that was truly helping people, I was able to connect. I have a map behind me, as you
can
see.
I saw it.
And I love it because I have hosted people from 60 plus countries. I've traveled to 50 plus countries myself. So I love traveling. I love meeting people from different countries. We exchange ideas when we meet with them and speak with them. But I still there's something missing until last year, because I was helping them, but I was not making a significant change in their life. So I was like, yes, I'm helping them finding a good quality accommodation, home from home. I'm building a connection with them, but still not that difference that I always wanted to do since I was 14, 15 years old. And that's where next part, I'm sure you're gonna discuss that. That's where it came to my life, and my entrepreneur journey took a different, I won't say different step, but it kind of enhanced the whole experience of the entrepreneurship. And now they're going hand in hand together, and I'm absolutely loving every bit.
Amazing. I would just want to highlight a few more things which you mentioned, which I believe they're very important. I'm glad that you mentioned about how much traveling or getting in touch with different culture, different people, it actually bring you an awareness of new possibilities. Because most of the times, I look at my life, right? And since I was a child, I wanted to live a better life for myself, but I didn't really know what that better life looks like or how it feels like. But when you meet someone or you get in touch with something outside of your comfort zone, you actually start realizing, oh, so that is possible too. So if they can do it, I can do it as well. Which led you to start your business by being inspired by that lady. And if she was just in housekeeping in a hotel and she started a business of her own, can we do it? Can you do it? Can anyone else who's watching this video can do something meaningful and start something as a business? Amazing. And I like the fact that you mentioned about creation and manifestation. So we are the creators of our own reality. So it depends only on us if we make something work for ourselves or not. Amazing. That's such an amazing interview and conversation. I love it. Okay, now let's go to the next topic. So you said that even though you started your business and you really felt that you're doing something, however, it wasn't the feeling that you have of what means to make a significant change and a contribution for someone else. And that's how you invited Enagic into your life, correct? Tell us a bit more. Why do you think that this is so vital and important, and how does and what we do makes a difference into people's life?
So I would definitely thank you for asking that question, and I can't wait to talk more about it. But two things I would like to mention before that.
Yes.
In the first question, we discussed about the frequency and vibrations and how it's important to change yourself. And honestly, if I wouldn't have been gone on that journey, as you rightly said, on discovering myself and finding the answers within me and working on the right frequency and vibration for myself and constantly manifesting to create the reality for myself that I want to do it. Because as you rightly said, you cannot help other people, even your own family, forget about other people, if you don't help yourself. My wife always gives this example of the glass of water, that if you have a glass which has only tiny few drops and you're trying to help other people with those two tiny drops, you're going to dehydrate yourself and you're going to suffocate yourself. But if your glass is full, it's actually overpouring, it's coming out. You can actually give 10, 20, 30% to other people. You still have 80, 90% left for yourself. So that's truly mean taking care of yourself. So before I talk about Enagic, I understood the meaning of self-care. I understood the meaning of self-prioritization, because growing up, I wasn't taught or told, but I looked and I thought, and I started making this as a belief that actually thinking about myself is selfish. If I take care of myself, it's selfish. If I just focus on myself, it's being selfish. So it took me 20 years to unlearn that and started focusing on myself. And I now tell a lot of my close friends and colleagues that, guys, please, before you do anything, start focus on yourself. Everything is great. You want to go on your journey, you want to change your frequency. Nothing happened if your focus is not on yourself, because whatever you focus on grows. We know that. You focus on the positive, it grows.
Before you go even further, I would like to highlight one more time what you mentioned about the few drops of water that you have in a glass. I used to use a different analogy when I was doing my therapy healing sessions. I was giving this as an example because you've made it really clear, and it's common in any culture. Like, it's not just India, it's not just Romania or any other country. Everywhere in the world, we are so much focused to give, to take care of others. And you see how many people, they get responsibility for other people instead of taking responsibility, first of all, for themselves. And that was my story as well, like a mirror to each other. That was my story. I wanted to give and help others. And I realized, and I was actually encouraging and highlighting to the people that I worked with through the healing process, like, imagine you have a cup, right? And your heart is like a cup. If you keep pouring from that cup to give it to other people, your cup is going to be empty. But instead of trying to pour out of your cup to other people, what if you can just kind of keep filling that cup, keep filling it until it's overflow, as you mentioned. So thank you very much for bringing that up. It's just amazing.
No, I really appreciate what you're saying. And I don't want to judge anybody, but sometimes what happened, because of our certain upbringing, certain traumas that we're healing, things like that, we don't actually even have to give from that heart. So we end up giving other people. We're thinking we're helping. We are thinking we are giving, but we are giving them from an empty heart, from an empty cup. So that instead of helping them, we're actually causing a negative circle, a negative vicious circle, where they will go with the mindset that, oh, look how good Monica is, she's helping, she's giving, I should do the same. And instead of focusing on themselves, they're going to end up going around and look for people to help, because the easiest way to not focus on yourself is by focusing on others. And people do that all the time to avoid and procrastinate and not to do on your own growth. Oh, it's too hard. It's too, if I'm going to look inside, I'll, again, before my Enagic journey, I'll quickly give you another example about which I read in Jay's book, when, he went to monk school and he was taken by certain monks in a I don't know which place, but in like a bunker type place. And they said it's full of dust and cobwebs and everything. And they said, okay, this is a cloth, go and clean this mirror, but just like dust it like that. And of course, dust went into his eyes, into his mouth, couldn't breathe properly, couldn't see properly. That mirror is our conscience. And if you're going in that inward journey and trying to look inwards, it's very hard. It's not a nice experience to do that. So a lot of people, in order to avoid that inward journey, to see what we're going to see, the dust and the cobwebs, and it's going to be uncomfortable. Let's focus on others. Let's help you. No, let's help you. No, let's help you. No, no, no. Let's help you. You needs to be your center of attention. You need to be your own focus first. And as I said, fill your glass, fill your cup, fill your heart, and then give some out of that, because then you're truly helping people.
Raya, are you really talking about me? Because that's who.
No. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me because that's how I was. And I see a lot of friends and colleagues around me who feel the need to help others. No, I should be the one helping. I should be the rescuing them. The only person you really need to rescue is yourself. And I didn't realize that until a year and a half ago. I was in that vicious loop, constantly looking for people to help, constantly. And you're not helping them. You're actually making their life much worse, I think, because you're giving them from an empty cup.
I can't stop laughing because you talk exactly about me. That's who I was exactly. I was so desperate, honestly, desperate to go outside and help people and get them, to heal them, to save them. And I didn't realize, as you mentioned, the only person actually, how I started my healing journey, like the healing process that I start with other people, I think a part of myself was screaming out loud that I need healing. I need you to save me, but I didn't understood the message. So I went and healed other people until I realized, wait a second, but I would like to get the same benefit that they receive. And then I started and go into my actually own healing and journey, and I was like, oh my god, like, yeah, thank you very much for that.
Giving the power to other people by doing that, because then although we know we shouldn't live with expectation, but by helping others, the reason we do it because subconsciously, or you are asking for help by helping them, but because you don't get help in return, then you get, oh my god, nobody wants to help me, or nobody's there to help me, nobody there to listen to me. And that's very negative, because not just that you emptied yourself already, whatever you had left, and you are now looking for help, but there is nobody around. So you're going to have very, very negative experience. I've gone through it, and I've learned in the past decade that the only person, not just myself, anybody else that I want to help, they can only help themselves. I may be able to give them some tools, and the best tools that you and I can give it to somebody is our experience, is our own experience, is our own learning, day-to-day living, what we have done to ourselves. If you want to apply it on your own, it may or may not work, but that's the only thing I can really truly give it to you. And for some people it works, and they can take 2% from me, 5% from you, 10% from somebody else, combine that together. And that's where all the learning helps. That's where, diving into these podcasts, in books, researching, meeting new people, traveling the world, getting more perspective, it helps. Finding the tools to navigate within that. Because again, another colleague of mine recently posted something on Facebook saying, you can't just be, the positive word has been taken out of context in the last 2-3 years. Everybody just talks about being positive, being positive, being positive, being positive. But what they don't talk about, that it's okay to be negative sometimes. It's okay not to feel positive 100% of the time. Because the real positivity comes then when you have the attitude of gratitude, and you know how to navigate through the negativity, through those tough emotions, and get back to that positive outlook, positive mindset, because that's a true positive outlook where you understand how to navigate through those feelings.
When you think about positivity, most of the people, when because they have this mindset that, oh, I have to be positive, what they actually they go in denial. And they go in pretendal that, no, I'm okay, I'm fine, everything is fine. But just be real, acknowledge what you feel and how you feel, and get out of that by being truly honest with yourself. So don't try to fool yourself like, oh, I'm just being positive. No, because you're going to send it anyway, because we are vibration. So people, they would know anyway, they would feel it. Yeah.
The vibration creates your energy. And we are just energy. And I know you would align to that. And we are just energy. Universe is just energy. So that energy is very important, and that comes from your mindset and your outlook to things in life.
And you said something else that I would like to highlight that as well. It might work or it might not work. What I've realized on my own experience and other people's experience is, if you truly use that, if you truly live that, tool or resource or whatever, then it would work. But if you don't use it, if you don't live it, then obviously it's not going to work.
Yeah. The reason I said it may work or may not work, because the result that I would get from it may be different, and the result that you would get from it would be different. So you might experience that if Surya done a certain things and he got this out of it, your outcome would be different because you are a different person with a different outlook, with a different mindset, with a different DNA. So yes, things will certainly be different. But as you said, if you apply it, you would get some changes in your life. Now, going back to Anagic, so I was basically in this health journey, and where I started focusing on myself until sort of 3 years ago. I felt I'm healthy. I don't have any issues. I, walk a lot. I do a few things, and I try to eat healthy. Thanks to my partner, she's very good in terms of that. So I kind of didn't pay much attention. But 4 years ago, I started having certain issues, with regards to digestion, bloatingness, occasion, But again, I thought this is part of aging. Oh, I'm in my 30s. I'm supposed to have these things. I'm supposed to have back pains. I'm supposed to have XYZ problems, right? And I just put that on aging, and I just said, oh, let's just focus on life, on work, on traveling, and not on health. Didn't realize that I need to prioritize it until last year. Nothing to do with Corona or anything like that. But I was, I think it was May 2019, so exactly 2 years ago, I was introduced to Najib. And just like most people, again, don't want to judge anybody, but can only speak for myself. I was there not with an open mindset, because my mindset was very different back in the day. I was very much in an employee mindset. I was very much in that, oh, let's just, play safe, secure, have a bit of saving, and, do occasional travel, etc., etc. So my mindset was not where it is now. So I went there, but just so that I can, as a courtesy to my colleagues, because two of my colleagues who I work with, and they helped me with my business, other property business with renovation, they invited me because they opened the center in Birmingham, and it was a grand opening. They have people from Romania, they have people, from all walks of life. And I said, yeah, let's go and support them. So I went there as a supporting, to my colleagues, my business partners, saw the presentation, saw what they're doing. I probably paid 20 to 30% attention, because my mind was, oh, my job. I had two jobs back in the day, full-time and a part-time job, and a business that I'm trying to grow. So, oh, who's checking in, who's checking out, what I'm doing. Like I wasn't there. I wasn't fully present. I wasn't being mindful, basically. So I went there, I paid maybe 25% attention. I took some information. I found it to be good, but not as good or as useful, where I could take it.
Consider it for yourself.
Yeah, to do something about with that information. So I spent an hour there and I went away. Fast forward 1 year, May 2020. So now, of course, my healing journey started in October 2019. So it's 6 months into that journey where my mindset is changing, my health journey is changing, my mindset is changing. And all of a sudden, some vision came to me in May 2020 that my colleague, Christian, who's my mentor now, and he mentioned something last year. It wasn't him basically who told me about it, because he is a different personality and aura, and I would have connected with it. It was somebody else showing and presenting it. And you connect with different people in a different way. So I said, yeah, I didn't connect with that person, but I think the message that Christian was trying to say was something good and valuable. And my instinct is telling me to go and meet him. And it's been a while anyway. So I called him, can I come and meet you? He said, yeah, that's fine. Let's come and meet. I went there, spoke with him for an hour, and straight away I knew this is not something I listened last year. I said, if this is what you were trying to tell me last year, I'm sorry, but I think I'm listening to something new, completely new, because my mindset was not there. My hearing maybe changed, my perception maybe changed. I don't know, but I understood a different thing. And I said, I like it. I love it. I want to try it. He said, yeah, that's fine. You can go ahead and try it. So I took some water. I came home and I told my partner, I said, you have to come and watch and see what this is about. So again, she being herself, again, she's very sort of critical and like she went there, and again, she was convinced straight away that this is something for us. So we wanted to bring it in our life as a user. That's what our initial instinct was, that we're so busy. Yes, I don't have the jobs anymore. I still have just the business. But we thought, who has the time for business? Let's just use it, be healthy. And if we get a chance to tell our friends and family, we'll do it. But, nothing like that. 3 weeks into using it, I was like, no, this is way too good not to tell people. This is amazing. This is amazing. I was like, oh my God. So 3 weeks into it, fast forward, first week of July, That's where, so next week, basically, it'll be my 1 year since I've taken upon as a business. So it'll be my 1 year anniversary. And I'm proud to say I've changed. I think I personally have helped, not changed, I've helped people, more than 30 plus families and half a dozen plus businesses, changing the way they do things and they use it. And everybody, and when I see them and I hear them, the things that has happened for them in that 8 to 10 months, in the past 8 to 10 months, it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. I don't think I've ever got a job satisfaction, that much job satisfaction in anything I've ever done, which I've got in past 11, 12 months in this particular business. The opportunity that it has given me truly to keep filling my bottle literally with water now and keep overflowing it all the time and keep giving people from that. And again, I would say it's not something that we can enforce on anybody else. Yes, it's great. We love it and everybody should love it. But that doesn't mean that everybody will love it. That's the problem. Because just like I was not prepared for it in 2019, it took me 1 year. And when I was on my journey towards my changing my mindset, building that growth mindset, focusing more on having multiple streams of passive incomes and things like that, then only it struck to me, yes, it's good for my health and it's also great for my wealth. I don't use the word health and wellness anymore. I use health and wealthness, because it's all about health and wellness. You can only build good health if you are doing good financially. You can't buy organic food or eat good and live in a good environment, breathe good, if you don't not financially stable or secure. So a lot of people just focus on health. A lot of people just focus on wealth. It's the balance, just like the pH balance. Life is the balance in everything. So the health balance and the wealth balance is very important. And for me, it brought both. It brought the balance in health and it also brought the balance in wealth, and combined together. Oh my God, I'm living honestly the best life. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not saying it just for the sake of it. I'll give you an example. I used to travel a lot. I told you I've been to 52 countries in the last 9 years, but I've never been like, I was still in jobs until a year and a half ago. And I was pinching myself when I was in Romania this time, because I spent 8 weeks in Romania and I came back on Sunday. Before that, I was in Gran Canaria for 8 weeks as well. And when I was in jobs, the maximum I used to get off in a year was 5 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks, depending on the whole structure. And I used to literally beg my bosses to give me 2 weeks in a row or 3 weeks in a row off. And I used to put my holidays 2nd of January on their table. So because I used to plan my year in advance, but I never even used to get more than 5 weeks off. And now I can go away for 8 weeks and still be able to live my life and do things that I want to do, because the true freedom is not having a lot of money. I think the true freedom is what you do with that money. The true freedom is what you want to do, how you want to do it, with whom you want to do it, and where you want to do it. And I have all 4 of those in less than a year. Of course, my other business helped me to get to here. And this is amplifying everything that I've done so far in the past 15 odd years in my professional journey. And I can't be more grateful for Enagic, for the opportunity that it has brought in my life, not just to help myself, because that is the most important thing, and also from that help to kind of just reflect on others, because I'm not here to change anybody's life. I can't change anybody's life. I can only change my own, as we discussed so far. But just trying to reflect that back on others, and if they align with that energy, if they align with that thought, of course, I'm sure that it will help them in some way or the other. But I respect their time. Before I was in my first month, I would be honest, and I would, through this video, I'll apologize to a lot of people who I kind of bombarded them with information that you need to know about this. It wasn't the right way, and I do apologize if I came across as too passionate. I really love it. But now I taken a step back, not a step back, maybe 10 steps back, and I just focus on myself. And whoever aligns with it, they now come to me.
It is amazing that you've mentioned so many great points. One of them was how you received or not received the information at first hand. I would like to ask you, was 2 different speakers that they brought the information to you, or was the same person that you got to know about it?
So my first introduction to Enagic and Kangen was, as I said, in May 2019. It was a group of people, I would say a delegation, came from Romania, because they were helping my colleagues to open the center and to promote it. Again, the way they explained things and the way their energy didn't align. Maybe my energy wasn't right or something. So I didn't align with the message at the time. I didn't align with what they're trying to do, why it's so amazing, why it can make a change in somebody's life. It's just water at the end of the day. I live in the UK. We got decent quality water. Why should I complain about it? Although I should complain about it, because I couldn't even drink a liter before. and now I drink 3 to 4 liters a day. So there was something wrong, but I just didn't acknowledge it. So, but the message that came through Christian, because the energy, because he was also on this path towards changing himself. He does a lot of grounding, meditation, focus on his health. And of course, I knew he was a different person because I knew him for about 4 years now. And I saw his change. I saw a change in his mentality, in his mindset, in his physical health, and overall aspect. Like, and every time I meet him, I say, like, you look fresh, your skin looks great, your hair looks good. Like, what are you doing? Is it something different? And they said, no, it's just one main thing that I've changed apart from the normal stuff that I do. So I said, okay, I eat healthy, I do grounding, I do meditation. It's not happening to me. I still have certain issues that I'm trying to overcome. So, and then you realize water is the base of life. You know, it's so essential. Like, yes, it's water. I understand that. Just because it doesn't have a marketing element to it, because food sells. So everybody talks about you are what you eat. Nobody talks about you are what you think, which is the most important, your mindset, and what you breathe, which is the air, and then your water. So nobody talks about those 2-3 things. Everybody focus on the food because it sells, it makes a lot of money. So I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So when I spoke with him, I think that one. So that 1 hour meeting with him explaining the company was great, but I think the real change happened when we spoke for next 3 hours after that. And I kind of aligned with his thought process. I understood what he's trying to do with this. He's trying to change his own life and whoever can connect with it. And he understood there's going to be only 2 to 3% people who would align to it. And more people will get into this once they are on their own path, once they are on their own journey. I'll give you a quick example. If somebody is sleeping and they are sleeping like fast asleep, in deeper sleep, and you're trying to wake them up, like, come on, get up, they're going to get very annoyed. And they're going to say, leave me alone. And they're going to say some bad words, like, so if they're awake or they're on the way to be awakened, and then you're talking with them, then they would be able to understand. I think that's where my 1 whole year took me, from May 2019 to May 2020. And finally, in June last year, I accepted this as my reality. And now this is part of my reality. This is who I am. And it is, some people call me Surya, you're Mr. Kang, and you can't just shut up about it. You just talk about it everywhere. I talk to my Uber drivers. I talk to my waitresses. I talk to people in the train. I talk to people in the flight. I talk to everyone. Why not? Because what I'm doing, Monica, and what you're doing, I know, is spreading information. We're not trying to sell this to anybody, because I don't think you can sell it. I think the whole thing, all you can do is give information, because information breeds knowledge, and knowledge creates power. And that's what we're trying to do. So information, let's give more and more information about water, about hydration, about health, about wellness, and whoever will connect with it, they will use that information and knowledge to, in whichever way it suits them.
Yeah, well, you cannot do something if you don't know about it. So the first step is actually being informed about something, and then choose that and leave that as an example. So I like the fact that you mentioned the fact that we are the story. We actually give our own examples. You can't, think about it, like a fat person. Sorry, my language, but like, would someone like overweighted come to you and sell you this device or inform you about this device? Would he be credible in front of you? Not. But if someone has true result with it, and most of us, we do have, because regardless of each and every one experience, we have certain results. So if we, as a result, we introduce you to and we talk to you about it, it makes more sense to actually be at least open at first, listen, and then make up your mind and choose for yourself. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
100%, completely agree and align to that you are your own story. People don't buy. When I worked, after I left hospitality, I left my hotel job, not hospitality. I still have hospitality business, but I moved to properties for a couple of years, and I was buying and selling properties with the UK's largest property company. And my regional manager I asked him, I said, why are you hiring me in a sales job? I never done sales. He said, no, you have done sales all your life. I said, what do you mean? He said, Surya, you are very you're a people person. I said, okay, I know that. He said, but what has that to do with sales? He said, because you are able to sell yourself. So he said, people buy people. People don't buy products. People don't buy properties. People don't buy a magic. People buy you. So you rightly said, your story is everything. So in that two years working in properties, I understood that when I'm going out there with meeting clients for for properties and stuff, a lot of times, of course, it's important what they're buying, but it's also how you are presenting that as a product, as a journey, and how it impacted you and your life. And again, as you rightly said, if I talk to people, they ask me, okay, what's the one biggest change? I'm sure you're going to ask me this question as well. It has done for you, and the biggest change it has done for me is giving me clarity. But a lot of people don't understand what clarity means because they never had any clarity. So they might align with it, they might not align with it, because so what do you mean by clarity? It's so vague. How can water help you with clarity?
Yeah.
It did help me with clarity because it helped me with how I feel internally. It helped me how I feel externally. It helped me how I sleep. It helped me how I kind of process my thinking. And all of that adds up to clarity. So yes, so I can break it down for you, but it does. And what does clarity does for me? It helps me increase my productivity. What does productivity does for me? It helps me increase my overall life, including my revenues. So when people say, oh, sorry, again, I'm going off topic, this machine is expensive. And I said, yeah, but I covered the cost of the machine in 3 months. Oh, how did you do that? Because again, clarity, productivity, raise my revenue, and my increased revenue, which won't have happened because of lack of productivity or lack of clarity, paid for it. Is that simple? But again, it will only be able, I think somebody will only take it with an open mind that yes, your productivity by certain tools, you can increase your productivity. And by productivity is not just the number of hours you're doing, because I used to be one of those people with employee mindset. The more I do, the greater it is. Hard work, hard work, hard work. 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week. Like I'm in some competition with somebody or my, like always. And now, since I've kind of become more self-employed, more business oriented, I work on average 15 hours a week. That's my average, like the most, 12 to 15 hours a week, not 60 to 70 hours a week. But I get 3, 4, 5 times more result that I used to get with 70 hours a week. So it's not the numbers of hours you do, it's what you do in those hours.
You have more energy, you have more focus.
Because in 1 hour, I can achieve 8 hours worth of results that I couldn't do it before. But I'm not just saying it's just because of water. It helped. It amplified everything I was doing. My digestion got better. But it just like washing my food. My food was great. It was organic, but it wasn't clean. You know, it was cooked decently, but it wasn't cooked in this. So of course, it helped in all sorts of life. Like I didn't knew that first thing in the morning I was drinking what, like most people, tea or coffee. Like, and I didn't knew that tea and coffee destroy your stomach lining, and you shouldn't be drinking first thing in the morning. You should have at least 2 cups of water minimum. So I changed that. You know, part of my morning routine is that now. Part of my sleeping routine is that as well. So there's so many things that you have to do that, like detox myself from social media. I don't start my day with social media or with coffee. I start my day with water, with grounding, with the manifestation, things like that. So everything comes together and it just helps you become a better version of yourself.
I'm glad that you mentioned the word clarity and you brought the water as an effect of that. And even though people would not make the link between clarity and water, what I used to say and what I used to look at in my life, in myself, was that the body is linked to the mind and the mind is linked to the body. So if I feel tired and exhausted in my body, would I be able to be truly focused, have that clarity, and have that energy to actually be productive in whatever I'm doing? So the moment the body is energized, it receives what it requires, then the mind will be open and have more focus and more clarity with regards to that. And another aspect that I think it helps with our brain in terms of that is the oxidation. It's actually the oxygen actually that reaches to the brain within a minute. So the clarity comes from there as well. And 100%. You did brought into, again, I like the entrepreneur mind that you have and how you bring them together. And not only that, these kind of projects, it gives you the freedom to just travel and do the business everywhere you go, on the plane, in the bus, in the restaurant, wherever you are.
In my Uber.
At the same time, it's actually help you by being more productive and increase revenue in everything that you do. And it's amazing because most of the people, they get stuck into the price. They don't see the bigger picture. So thank you very much for bringing that bigger picture.
The bigger picture is so important. Like I can give you a small analogy. The thing is in life, so many times we have so many small, I would say problems basically, but problems are, and for everybody, they have their own set of problems and they look so big because they are like this in front of my eyes. So of course I can't see anything else because I only see this in front of my eyes, the problem. The moment you distance yourself with it, it starts to look smaller. It's like a plane on the ground. When the plane is on the tarmac, all you see is that plane. But when that plane is on the sky, it becomes smaller. Problems are like that. Either they need to go away from you or you need to go away from them. Because when you distance yourself from problem, you start seeing solutions. You won't see solutions until you distance yourself from them. So same thing with the price. When you're just focusing on the price, all you're going to see is just price, price, right? But the moment you distance yourself from that price thing, or if you want to call it a problem or an issue, then you're going to see solutions. You're going to see the value, because you can, as I said, first of all, we're not sellers. And second of all, even if we try to sell somebody, we can never ever sell this on the basis of price. It's the value that it adds to your life, and the fact that how much value you give to your health. If I value my health in billions, of course it's pennies in compared to billions. If I value my sleep in millions and billions, it's worth a lot. So I value my clarity, my productivity, my sleep, my gut health a lot. So again, going to gut health, going off topic, people think, gut health is important. It's your second brain. It's your primary brain. 80 to 90% of your serotonin, like your happy hormone, generated in your gut. That you keep your gut happy, everything in your life is happy. So, and for your gut, the most important thing is breaking down of those molecules, those nutrition, and again, having the right water, which helps with that. So yes, my gut health is very important for me. My mental health is very important for me. My productivity is and for that, the value that it gives me is in billions. So paying something so minuscule, literally, it's absolutely, fraction of it.
And it's
Small
like,
fraction.
what would you give your mind to? Would you give your mind reasons to find more excuses, or would you set up your mind to find the solution? That's another thing. Like, what do you want? Because your mind will gonna look for whatever you give it. If you set up your mind to find for reason and excuses of why you shouldn't go there, then your mind will gonna give you all the reason and excuses why you shouldn't go there. But if you decide, okay, mind, help me out, find me a solution, show me the way, then your mind is going to be programmed in such a way, because we were talking about programming, and would lead you and help you to see all those possibilities that are available.
I will go back to Robert Kiyosaki, where he said, I'm just going to paraphrase what he says. So I'm not going to use the exact line that he says, but it's not about, I can't do this. It's about how can I do this? Because a statement closes your mind. That means your mind doesn't work after that. Once you've made a statement, which means I can't do it, or I can't afford it, I don't want to do it. When you say, how can I do it? Or how can I afford it? Then it becomes a question. You become possibilities. You're open to possibilities. Your mind opens up to that. So that's what the difference in mindset works. And again, if your body, for example, a lot of times you're not actually hungry, we are thirsty. People confuse starvation or not starvation. People confuse, the feeling of peckishness or snacking to eating, but it's actually drinking. I've noticed that I don't snack for a year. I haven't snacked in a year. I haven't had any crisps or chocolates or random stuff that I used to go, well, let me grab some this, let me grab some this, let me grab some. No, that craving is actually asking for thirst, but because you can't comprehend the message correctly, you end up keep going. And then you say, oh, look, I'm getting obese. I'm not productive. I'm feeling tired, lethargic, because the kind of food you're putting in yourself does a lot of bad things to your body. And that basically improves your performance, your productivity, and your overall health. So, of course, if you change and get snacking out of your life and just swap that with the right kind of nutrition, which again, a lot of people don't understand how water is a nutritional element. It's one of the most basic thing that we need to survive. I'll give you a quick example. Why all the scientists on the world looking for life on different planets? The first thing is water. They don't look for anything else, the water. So how is not that important? So yeah, I can go on and on about different examples.
You can live without food for what, couple of weeks maybe, but you cannot live with
up to 40 days. You can.
So you cannot go without water for more than few days. So it's like few weeks and few days. What is more important?
3 days versus 40 days. It's crazy, like how important water is. And again, it's not just for drinking. What make our soil more fertile? Yes, what's in the minerals in the soil, but the water that's present in the soil. And similarly, that the food grown in the certain soil with a certain water helps with our diet, with our nutrition as well. The water that we're using to bathe ourselves, to clean ourselves, it's in every part, every walk of our life. And one thing I would like to highlight, and then this story I tell everybody, I'm going to try to keep it brief. When I was a child, I grew up in India, and the north of India, we used to go to the mountains a lot. And my grandparents and parents always told me, because we never used to carry plastic, there was no concept of plastic bottles at the time. So we would carry some water from home, but if it's in the car and we are out about, in the nature, they would say just find a water stream and just drink it. But one thing they always tell me, don't drink stagnant water. Don't drink water that's holding in one place. Drink free-flowing water, right? Because stagnant water is unhealthy. It could have bacteria, germs, viruses, etc., etc. Now, how funnily, not this bottle, but the plastic bottle that people pay for, is that not stagnant water? People are paying for stagnant water, knowing in the childhood that stagnant water is bad. And every time I ask this question to anybody, doesn't matter, they're 30-year-old, 40, 50, they're like, yeah, you're right. As a child, I was told and I knew stagnant water is bad, and I'm paying €1, €2, €3 for stagnant water. That could be in that bottle for up to a year or longer. Yeah. It's shocking. So yeah, it's just people have to do their own research or connect with somebody who can help them with their journey, with their research, somebody like yourself, or even and it's just all it takes, a message or a call. Just say, oh, let's connect, let's talk. I want to make some changes in my life, and what I can do to do that. So yeah, we are here just to spread information and knowledge.
Be open to find out how you can do it. Like, be open to know how you can change your life, because I think that's the most important, and everything starts from there, like from a decision of, okay, I would like to live a better life, a more quality life, and everything starts from there. I know we could go for hours and days, and we will never stop, because we are both so much energized and so much passion about it. I could even add few more things to what you said, but I think
let's keep it for the next conversation. Let's schedule a conversation for next month in July, and this time I will interview you and I'll ask, because I have so many questions for yourself, especially with your journey with Emirates and things like that. You living in Dubai, which is amazing. And yeah, I would definitely do the other way around next time. So let's schedule something for July. And yeah, it's been amazing. And as you said, we can go on for hours. Yeah. But hopefully the message gets across that it's truly about making that change within yourself and empowering yourself and giving yourself that credit and that love that you truly deserve. Because that's what we're truly craving for. That's ultimately we need that healing. And somebody who says no, we don't need healing, everybody needs healing.
Everybody, regardless of their age, regardless of their path, everyone and anyone requires that.
I denied it for 30 plus years, and I know for sure everybody.
Same here. Same here. I think we all go through that stage, so it's fine. Well, thank you so much. I'm not gonna ask
thank you
because I know we're gonna go for even longer. Thank you so much. I just hope and trust that that the people that they would see these videos, these recordings now or in the future, they would truly be open and receive the information with all their hearts, because we pour our hearts into it, and we enjoyed so much. So hopefully they would receive the message as it was sent, with all our love and appreciation, and trust that they would make the best choice for themselves. Thank you.
I can guarantee you it will make an impact, because we are giving them from a full heart, not, so, and our heart, even after giving all this, our heart is still full. And that's what
that's the beauty.
That's the beauty of it. Thank you so much, Monica. I really appreciate you and can't wait to connect with you again. Take care.
Bye.